You know, violent crime is now just one major issue that Americans are facing. In fact, according to a Fox News poll, more than half of all voters say they are worse off under Biden. More than half of all voters say they are worse off under Biden. Worse off under Biden. Just 1 in 5 voters say their lives are better. Just 1 in 5 voters say their lives are better. 73% view the economy negatively. 73%. And only 30% approve of Biden's immigration policies. A new low. Yet his overall job rating continues to hover near a record low at just 41%. More than half of all voters say they are worse off under Biden.
You know, people always talk about hip-hop, and the most advanced thing to me in hip-hop is DJing.
Under Biden. That same poll shows that a plurality of voters, 38%, believe Biden's top accomplishment is nothing. Nothing. Is nothing. Nothing. They believe he's accomplished nothing that made their lives better. Nothing. Trump, meanwhile, continues to lead in the Fox poll. And in the Real Clear Politics polling average, Trump is up in almost every single battleground state. So now, Biden is attempting to come from behind and get reelected, all while avoiding accountability. In order to achieve this arduous task, Joe is allegedly attempting to hide behind a few local print and TV interviews to avoid nationwide scrutiny, while pretending to be out in the public eye. But there are some days where the president has nothing, literally nothing on his public calendar. Nothing. Clearly, hiding Joe Biden. Hiding Joe Biden is really the only plausible strategy for Democrats, and for good reason. Governor, you know, it's bad news all over. Those polls that I read indicate that Joe Biden is in big trouble. What say you?
Well, Judge, I say that's not bad news. That's great news. I think we're going to see Donald Trump get reelected. That's wonderful news. And the bad news is that the best thing that people can say about Joe Biden is that he's done nothing. He's done nothing. The reason they're keeping him hidden and he's not going out is because those are the best days of his presidency, when nobody hears him blunder through a speech, when he doesn't fall off the stage or down the steps, and when he doesn't mispronounce the names of victims of crime. So it probably makes sense to lock him up and throw the key away and just pray and hope that somewhere along the way they can get enough mail-in votes to take him to the finish line. But I just think Americans are smarter than that, and I really want to believe that this election is no longer about Democrats and Republicans. It's about whether this country is going to be a country of law, order, safety, controlling the border, economic reality, or if we're going to live in la-la land for the next 4 years. Or if we're going to live in la-la land for the next 4 years. Or if we're going to live in la-la land for the next 4 years. Or if we're going to live in la-la land for the next 4 years.
Hiding Joe Biden.
Yeah, they handled it as best as they could, Judge.
Yep. Thank God for the police. Nate Floyd, thank you so much. And there have been many developments this week from the lawfare now being waged against Donald Trump, starting with the Fulton County case where Trump's attorneys were back in court arguing for a dismissal on the grounds of free speech, a motion Judge McAfee will rule on at a later date. And earlier today, one Democrat strategist had a message for Fulton County DA Fannie Willis. Take a look at this.
Fannie Willis has already made herself a character in this saga. She's got to bring it down, bring it down, and stay focused on doing the job of prosecuting this case. I wish she would bring it down, stop doing interviews, and really focus on just prosecute the case. Just bring it down and be very serious in the courtroom.
Meanwhile, Hunter Biden's attorneys are asking for his tax charges to be dropped, a move that has sparked backlash from prosecutors and was reportedly met with skepticism from the judge. Here with reaction, Trump legal spokesperson Alina Hannity. Alina, welcome. It has been a very interesting week. The argument this week, actually today in Fulton County before Judge McAfee, regarding the claim by the president's attorney and some of the co-defendants' attorneys that the essence of the indictment has to do more with the First Amendment and free speech than a crime and RICO. What say you?
Number one, you and I both know, Judge Jeanine, that we have only one RICO situation, and that's what's happening with the Merrick Garland Biden administration. Let's be honest about it. We've seen the White House logs. We've seen the proof. The only RICO is the coordination against Donald Trump. What they argue today is very simple. A president has a right to speak. A human being, an American, this country is based on the constitutional First Amendment rights to speech. He had that right, and he did so. He has also a right as the executive branch to question and provide election integrity. God knows our country needs that right now, Jeanine. I know you know it. I know it. The American people know it. So that's why we're looking at this from a serious standpoint of constitutional violations, not to mention all the, frankly, the nonsense and the noise. It might be the only time I agree with CNN is when they say that Fannie Willis has become a character in this. I mean, it's insane.
You know, Alina, when you think about it, the judge makes a decision to have her decide whether or not her boyfriend should go, but she's the one who brought the boyfriend in. She's the one who paid the boyfriend. She's the one who took the stand and said, no, I didn't have any relations until well into the relationship which was contrary to the testimony of others. But do you think that this judge is afraid of Fannie Willis?
You know, I think that's a really good point. Honestly, I think that a lot of judges right now are afraid. If you're a Republican elected judge, you're afraid to look like you're too biased to Republicans. But by the way, if you're elected by a Democrat, if you're a Clinton-appointed judge, you seem to not have a problem sanctioning us for bringing a case about Russia hoax against Hillary Clinton without even seeing me, meeting me, or hearing the case for 5 minutes. It's unbelievable. We play so safe, they play dirty. That is what I've seen over and over again. And I know you see it, I see it. The American people are starting to see it. If you have a question about it, look at the poll numbers. That's why he's doing so well.
Clearly. And what do you think of Hunter Biden claiming that his indictment should be dismissed when they literally, with the statute of limitations, got rid of the most incriminating years for taxes? And he says this is just a special prosecution that is unfair and unjust.
Yes, we know what that's called. That's called a witch hunt. And I'm sorry, Hunter, you are not the victim of a witch hunt. President Trump is. And we've seen that. You didn't file tax returns for 3 years. You tried to get a sweetheart deal passed under the judge's nose, and we got caught. We know what's going on here, but don't you dare use our lines on us, because the only people that are treated differently are the Democrats. They are protected. They are clearly not treated the same, and I want to see their line be used against them. No one is above the law. Show me that. You don't pay your taxes. You don't charge. 3 years you didn't file tax returns. No one's above the law, Hunter.
That's for sure. Alina Hannity, thanks so much for being with us this evening. And coming up, Here's a head scratcher. The Illinois Supreme Court, the highest court, has agreed to hear an appeal in the Jussie Smollett case. Pam Bondi and Mark Garagos will be here in a moment.